Welcome, and I'm Shalini, a clinical psychologist. Let's talk about anxiety and emotional regulation. Did you know that anxiety is a natural response to stress? But when unmanaged, it can lead to challenges in life, including an increased risk of substance use. So today we'll explore the connection between anxiety and substance use. We'll discuss the effective strategies for managing anxiety and share tools to help individuals of all the ages to navigate their emotions. Did you know that anxiety is a prevalent mental health concern in the UK, affecting a significant portion of the population? Approximately 6 in every 100 people are diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. Notably, women report higher levels of anxiety than men, with 37.1% of the women and 29.9% of men experiencing anxiety or high levels of anxiety back in 2022 to 23. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated anxiety levels. During 2020 to 21, 24.4% individuals reported high anxiety level. By March 2023, 20% of the UK adults felt anxious most of all the time of the preceding 2 weeks. Now, regarding emotion regulation, difficulties in managing emotions are linked to various mental health issues, including anxiety. Research indicates that emotion regulation challenges in childhood can lead to mental health difficulties in adolescence and later on in adulthood. However, specific statistics on emotion regulation difficulties in the UK population are still limited. Now, addressing anxiety and enhancing emotion regulation skills are crucial for improving mental health outcomes. Interventions focusing on developing effective emotion regulation strategies can help reduce anxiety levels and promote the overall well-being. We now need to understand the connection between anxiety and substance use. In the United Kingdom, there is a significant connection between anxiety disorders and substance use. Individuals often turn to substances like alcohol and drugs as a means to self-medicate and alleviate their anxiety symptoms. Now, this coping mechanism, however, can lead to the development of substance use disorders, creating a cycle where anxiety and substance misuse perpetuate each other. Approximately 589,000 people in England are dependent on alcohol. Out of these, about 25% are receiving medication for mental health issues, primarily for anxiety and depression. A UK study also found that 38.5% of the individuals with a substance use disorder met the criteria for current post-traumatic stress disorder. In 2012 to 13 period, 20% of the mental health crisis-related admissions to acute hospitals via A&E were attributed to alcohol use, highlighting the interplay between substance misuse and mental health crisis. The ketamine use among the young people has recent data indicates a significant rise in the ketamine use among the young individuals in UK. Now, highlighting an urgent need for integrated mental health and substance use treatment services. Increase in the ketamine has been reported in 2023. Approximately 3.8% of young adults aged between 16 to 24 reported using ketamine, a notable increase from previous years. The number of children and young people seeking treated for ketamine-related issues rose from 512, which is 4.5% in 2021 to 22, to 1,201, which is 8.4 in 23 to 24. Now, an estimated 8 million people with mental health needs were not in contact with the mental health services in 2021. Teachers are increasingly stepping in to support students' mental well-being, with 3/4 prioritizing psychological needs over the curriculum weekly. These statistics underscore the critical need for accessible mental health services to address the underlying causes of substance use among the young people. We need to understand the challenges and considerations as well. First, let us go through the dual diagnosis. The coexistence of mental health disorders and substance use disorders is known as dual diagnosis. This presents the significant treatment challenge. Now, individuals with both the conditions often face the barriers in accessing the comprehensive care, as services may be equipped to address one issue but not the other one. There are several risks of self-medication. While some individuals use substances to manage anxiety symptoms, this practice can exacerbate the mental health issues and increase the risk of developing substance dependence. Now, effective treatment requires addressing both the underlying anxiety and the substance use behavior along with that too. So now, what have we learned so far? That the intricate relationship between anxiety and substance use in the UK highlights the necessity or the need for integrated treatment approaches. Addressing both the mental health and substance use concurrently can lead to more effective outcomes and support individuals in breaking the cycle of self-medication and dependency. Now, this form of self-medication might provide temporary relief but often worsens anxiety over time, leading to a cycle of dependence. Several studies have shown that untreated anxiety disorders are one of the leading contributors to substance misuse. Let us consider some of the strategies to manage anxiety and to regulate emotions effectively. The good news is that anxiety can be managed with the right tools and techniques. Now let us discuss some strategies which you can use and share with those in your community. The first one is mindfulness practices. Now, mindfulness helps individuals stay grounded in the present moment and reduces overthinking. Techniques include meditation or grounding exercises and mindful breathing. Anxiety often pulls us into excessive worry about the future and ruminating on the past. However, mindfulness helps us to stay grounded in the present moment, reducing the overthinking and promoting emotional balance. Let us discuss some of the key mindfulness techniques. The first one would be meditation. Meditation is simply focusing on your breath for a few minutes. That can help calm the mind down. The second one could be grounding exercises. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique, naming the 5 things you see, 4 things you touch, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you can taste. It is an excellent approach for bringing awareness to the present. The next approach could be mindful breathing. Taking slow and deep breaths can activate the body's relaxation response, easing the anxiety. Further techniques could be cognitive behavioral techniques. Anxiety is often fueled by irrational or exaggerated thoughts. CBT techniques help us to challenge these negative patterns of thinking and replace them with more realistic perspectives. You can ask questions to yourself. Ask yourself that, is this thought realistic? Now, often anxiety convinces us of worst case scenarios that are unlikely. You may also ask, what evidence supports this fear? Looking at the facts rather than emotions can actually reduce the worry. One can also ask, what would I say to a friend in this situation? Now, this helps create a more compassionate inner dialogue. By challenging negative thoughts, we can break free from the cycle of anxiety and develop healthier thought patterns. We need to understand that another activity we can do is a physical activity. Exercise is proven to reduce anxiety levels by releasing endorphins and improving the mood. The physical movement is one of the most effective ways to reduce anxiety naturally. Now, exercise actually releases endorphins, the body's natural stress relievers, which can improve the mood and the energy levels of the body as well. Now, simple activities such as a brisk 10 minutes walk, stretching or yoga, or any form of movement you enjoy can actually significantly lower the anxiety level. But the key is consistency. Even small amounts of daily activity can make a big difference. Another activity you can do is emotion labeling and journaling. Sometimes we experience intense emotions but struggle to identify them. Labeling emotions like I feel frustrated or I feel nervous helps the brain to process the feelings rather than be overwhelmed by them. One powerful tool is journaling, writing down your thoughts. This actually clarifies the emotions. Seeing thoughts on paper makes them easier to understand. It also reduces rumination. Getting worries out of your head helps break anxious thought loops. It also encourages the problem solving. Now, it helps to recognize the patterns and find the solutions. So, try writing down one thing you're feeling anxious about right now. Then ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, practice letting it go. There are certain tools for parents, teachers, and youth to identify and address anxiety. Anxiety does not just affect the adults. Children and teenagers are increasingly experiencing anxiety. Parents, teachers, and caregivers play a critical role in recognizing and addressing anxiety in young people. Now, there are some signs to watch for, including withdrawal from the social interactions, or changes in sleep patterns, or irritability, or sometimes frequent complaints of headaches or stomach aches. Now, let's discuss some practical tools and strategies for parents, teachers, and youth to identify and manage anxiety effectively. As far as tools for parents are concerned, the first one would be observation and active listening. Parents should look for signs of anxiety such as excessive worry, avoidance of situation, difficulty sleeping, or frequent stomach aches. Now, open conversations help children express their concerns. Parents need to do emotion coaching. Teach children to label their feelings by saying, "It looks like you're feeling nervous about school today. Want to discuss about it or want to talk about it?" Now, this helps validate emotions and reduce the shame. Parents need to practice calming strategies, encouraging deep breathing, mindfulness exercises, and relaxation activities like coloring or storytelling to ease anxiety. Parents need to practice consistent routines because the consistent routines will be able to help predictability, which will provide security. Establishing structured daily routines help children feel in control and reduce stress. Now, there are several tools for parents, teachers, and youth to identify and address anxiety. Anxiety doesn't just affect adults. Children and teenagers are increasingly experiencing anxiety. Parents, teachers, and caregivers play a critical role in recognizing and addressing anxiety in the young people. Now, some signs to watch for include the withdrawal from social interactions, changes in the sleeping patterns, irritability, and frequent complaints of headaches and stomach aches. Now, let us discuss some of the practical tools and strategies for the parents, the teachers, and the youth to identify and manage their anxiety effectively. Let's start with the tools for parents. So, the first tool the parents could use is observation and active listening. Parents should take for signs of anxiety, such as excessive worry, avoidance of situations, difficulty sleeping, or frequent stomach aches. Now, open conversations about children express their concerns. Second thing that they can do is emotion coaching. Now, teach children to label their feelings by saying, "It looks like you're feeling nervous about school today. Want to talk about it?" Now, this helps validate emotions and reduces the shame. Parents could also practice calming strategies. They can encourage deep breathing, they can encourage mindfulness exercises and relaxation activities like coloring or storytelling to ease the anxiety among their children. Parents can also practice consistent routines because they are the ones that through which the predictability is there. Now, establishing structured daily routines help the children feel in control and it actually reduces their stress. Parents can encourage the gradual exposure. So, if a child avoids certain situations due to anxiety, for example, public speaking or social gathering, parents support gradual exposure to help them build confidence. Parents could use the anxiety management apps like Mindset Shift or CBT Headspace for kids, or Smiling Mind offer guided relaxation and coping strategies. So the use of these mental health apps, including those designed for anxiety management, has been significant growth in United Kingdom in the recent years. Now, this trend actually reflects a broader shift towards digital solution for mental health support. Now, we need to understand the UK mental health apps market was valued at approximately $294.1 million in 2024 and is projected to reach $734.4 million by 2025. The UK mental health app market was valued at approximately 294.1 million USD in 2024 and is projected to reach 734.4 million by 2030, exhibiting a compound annual growth rate of 15.8% from 2025 to 2030. Specifically, the meditation app segment is expected to generate revenues of around 107.94 million by 2025, with an anticipated annual growth rate of 9.23% from 2025 to 2029. The COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent lockdowns led to a 200% increase in the use of mental health apps. Post-pandemic usage has continued to grow at an average rate of 55%. Now we need to understand the prevalence of anxiety. In 2022, over 8 million individuals in the UK were reported to be experiencing anxiety disorders. Now, this high prevalence underscores the demand for accessible mental health interventions, including the digital solutions as well. Now, what we need to consider is, while the adoption of mental health apps is on the rise, concerns regarding their effectiveness, privacy, and potential harm have been raised as well. Experts have advocated for more rigorous regulation and evaluation to ensure these digital tools provide safe and effective support. The increasing use of anxiety management apps in the UK reflects a growing acceptance of digital mental health solutions. However, it also highlights the need for careful consideration of their efficacy and safety. The other step the parents could do is to seeking professional help. Now, if anxiety persists, consider therapy or counseling. Organizations like Young Minds UK and Childline provide support for young people who are struggling with mental health issues. In the United Kingdom, mental health issues are prevalent, with approximately 1 in every 4 individuals experiencing a mental health problem each year. Now, despite this high prevalence rate, the proportion of people seeking professional help varies, and several statistics highlight that the current landscape of mental health treatment in UK has changed. Let's dig into the statistics a little bit deeper. Talking about the adults who are receiving the treatment, approximately 12.1% of the adults receive mental health treatment, with 10.4% on medication and 3% undergoing psychological therapy. Now, notably, 1.3% receive both medication and therapy. Work-based mental health is also in consideration. In 2022 to 23, an estimated 875,000 workers suffered from work-related stress, depression or anxiety, leading to 17.1 million lost working days. Increasing referrals is also important. Now, mental health services in England received a record 5 million referrals during 2023, making a 33% increase from 2019. Nearly 1/3 of Generation Z or Gen Z individuals have sought medical help for mental health issues, with many attributing ongoing challenges to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, there are some barriers of seeking the help. Only 10% of the employees are currently seeking support for their mental health, indicating potential barriers to accessing the care. Now, these statistics underscore the critical need for accessible mental health services and support systems in the UK to address the growing demand and encourage more individuals to seek the professional help for themselves. Let's jump onto the tools for the teachers. Teachers could use the classroom mindfulness and relaxation breaks. Now, short mindfulness exercises can significantly help the students to regulate their emotions and improve their focus during their classrooms. Simple deep breathing exercises like 4-7-8 technique, where they have to inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. They can calm anxiety. Guided imagery, progressive muscle relaxation, or even 2-minute brain breaks involving gentle stretching can help students reset their focus and reduce stress during the lessons. Now, teachers can also use creating a safe environment and supportive environment. Students with anxiety often struggle in traditional classroom settings, especially when called on unexpectedly. So instead of putting the students on the spot, teachers can provide alternative participation methods such as think, pair and share, that allowing students to discuss in pairs before speaking to the class, or the written responses, using whiteboards or digital tools for students to submit the answers privately rather than saying them out loud. Or they can also use the anonymous polling, using apps like Kahoot or Mentimeter to check the understanding without pressure. So, a supportive environment reduces the fear of failure and fosters confidence in the learning. Teachers can introduce anxiety scales and check-ins in which the self-awareness is key in managing the anxiety. Teachers can introduce tools like an anxiety thermometer, where students rate their stress from 1 to 10, before and after the activities to track the emotional changes. Now, digital mood tracking apps or simple color-coded cards in which you can sort green for calm, yellow for a little anxious, and red for the overwhelmed, allow students to communicate their emotional state non-verbally, helping the teachers adjust their approach accordingly. Teachers should be encouraging a growth mindset. Now, many students experience anxiety due to the perfectionism or fear of failure. Now, teaching them growth mindset principles such as reframing the challenges, like instead of saying I can't do this, now teachers could also use encouraging the growth mindset. Now, many students experience anxiety due to perfectionism or fear of failure. Now, teaching them the growth mindset principles such as reframing challenges. So, in this, instead of saying I can't do this, try saying I can't do this yet. Highlighting the progress over perfection is important. Praise the efforts and improvement rather than just results. Normalizing the mistakes. Discuss how successful people, scientists or athletes or artists, they have failed multiple times before achieving the success. Now, when students understand that challenges are part of learning, they become more resilient in handling the academic stress. There are certain teaching coping skills that the student needs to learn. Cognitive reframing helps students replace the negative thoughts with more constructive ones. Teacher can use real life examples. Now, before a test, instead of I will fail, try saying I have studied and will do my best. Now, during the class discussion, instead of saying everyone will laugh at me, try saying everyone is here to learn just like me. In role playing and storytelling can reinforce these concepts, helping the students to internalize the healthier thinking patterns. Teachers can also provide them quiet spaces. So, like not all the students handle stress in the same way. Setting up a calm corner in the classroom, a quiet place with dim lighting, noise cancelling headphones, or stress balls, or mindfulness coloring books can help students regulate their emotions in a proper way. Now, having an agreed upon signal like a small card on their desk allows them to take a break discreetly without disrupting the class. Collaboration with parents and school counselors is also important for the teachers. Now, for long-term success, teachers need to work alongside the parents, school counselor, and mental health professionals. Regular check-ins via emails, meetings, or progress reports can help identify patterns in a student's anxiety level. Students can also provide workshops for parents on how to reinforce coping skills at home. Now, when teachers, families, and counselors collaborate, the students receive consistent support in managing their anxiety, both in and out of the classroom. By incorporating these tools, teachers create a more inclusive, anxiety-friendly learning environment where all the students feel supported and empowered to succeed. Let's have a look onto the tools for the youth. The first one is journaling. Writing down worries can help process the emotions and reduce the overwhelming thoughts. The second could be breathing technique. Try box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds and hold for 4 seconds. This will calm the nervous system. One can use the grounding exercises as I mentioned earlier, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. This technique is going to help them to stay in the present. Another possible technique is limiting the screen time. Now, the social media can increase anxiety, so setting the screen limits and prioritizing real-life connections is beneficial. Physical activity is another one. Exercise, even a short walk or dancing, helps release stress-relieving hormones. Now, talking to a trusted adult or friend, whether it's a parent, teacher, or a counselor, seeking support reduces the isolation. Self-compassion is also important. Encourage self-kindness. I am doing my best and that's enough. Now, there are some practical tips for caregivers for coping with anxiety. Caring for a loved one, whether a child, elderly family member, or someone with a chronic illness, can be emotionally and physically demanding and draining. Now, anxiety is a common experience for caregivers, but there are effective ways to manage stress and maintain the well-being. Let's discuss some of the practical tips to help caregivers cope with the anxiety. The first one is prioritize self-care and set the realistic expectations. Now, understand that you cannot do everything perfectly. Give yourself permission to ask for help when needed. Secondly, take breaks. Even short breaks can help. Step outside, listen to the music, or enjoy a cup of tea to reset your mind. Stay physically active. Exercise, even light movement like stretching or walking, can help to reduce stress hormone and improve the mood. Eat nutritious meals. A balanced diet supports both physical and mental health. Avoid excessive caffeine and sugar, which can heighten anxiety, specifically before bedtime. Now, get enough sleep. Sleep deprivation can increase stress. Try relaxation techniques like deep breathing before going to the bed. This will improve the quality of the sleep. Manage your stress with mindfulness and relaxation exercises. Practice deep breathing. Like mentioned earlier, you can practice the box breathing. That can help calm the nervous system down. You can also use the grounding exercises like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. This is again going to be helping you out to stay in the present or in the focus. It actually brings you focus to the present moment. You can try meditation or yoga. Now, even 5 to 10 minutes a day of these exercises can reduce the stress and anxiety. Now, apps like Calm and Headspace offer guided meditations. Listen to soothing music or nature sounds. Background music can create a calming environment. You need to set boundaries and ask for help. Know your limits. It's okay to say no to additional responsibilities if they feel overwhelming. Delegate the task, like share caregiving responsibilities with other family members, friends, or professional caregivers as well. Another thing you can do is join a support group. Connecting with people who understand your challenges can provide emotional relief and helpful advice. Online and in-person support groups are available there. Seek professional help when needed. If anxiety becomes overwhelming, talking to a counselor or a therapist can provide coping strategies. Stay connected and maintain the social support. You can do that by talking to someone you trust. Sharing your worries with a close friend or a family member can actually ease the stress level. Engage in the activities you enjoy, like spending time on hobbies or simple pleasures like reading or gardening, etc., can be a mental recharge. Limit the negative news and social media. Constant exposure to distressing information can worsen anxiety, so take breaks from these screen times when needed. Use practical tools and resources. Keep a journal. Writing down the worries and positive moments helps process the emotions. Use the caregiver apps. Apps like Lotsa Helping Hands or Caring Bridge help organize care schedules and connect with support networks. Always stay informed, but don't overwhelm. Educate yourself about your loved one's condition, but avoid excessive research that may increase the anxiety. You can practice gratitude, and focusing on small moments of gratitude each day actually can improve your mental well-being. Now, by prioritizing the self-care, setting the boundaries, and seeking support, caregivers can actually reduce anxiety and maintain their own well-being while continuing to provide compassionate care. You need to understand the promotion of resilience through positive behaviors and self-awareness. Resilience is our ability to bounce back from stress, adversity, and challenges. It doesn't mean avoiding difficulties, but rather learning how to navigate them effectively. But the question is, why is resilience important? Resilient individuals cope better with stress and uncertainty. Researchers show that the resilience reduces anxiety, depression, and burnout. Self-awareness and healthy habits play a key role in building resilience. We need to understand the positive behaviors for resilience, and we can do that by cultivating the positive daily habits. One of the most effective ways to build the resilience is by doing these positive daily behaviors. These small but meaningful actions actually shape how we respond to the challenges. So the first one we can practice and do is practicing the gratitude. Keeping a gratitude journal or reflecting on 3 things you have grateful for each day shifts focus. Studies show that gratitude improves mental well-being and reduces stress. We need to develop healthy routines. A structured daily routine promotes stability and control, helping to manage stress more effectively. Consistent sleep, exercise, and nutrition are the key factors in emotional resilience. Now, engaging in the acts of kindness. Helping others foster a sense of purpose and connection. Volunteering or simply offering a kind word to someone can boost emotional strength. Self-awareness is again a resilience tool. So understanding yourself is important. Resilience isn't just about actions, it's also about understanding yourself. Self-awareness allows us to recognize emotional triggers and develop healthier responses. Now, we need to identify the emotional triggers. What situations cause stress or frustration? Keeping a thought journal can help track the patterns. We need to practice mindfulness, like techniques like deep breathing or meditation or grounding exercises and many more can help manage the reactions to stress. The grounding technique, namely 5-4-3-2-1 technique, is the one that keeps you in the present moment. Now we need to shift the negative thought patterns as well. So instead of "I can't handle this," try reframing and saying, "This is tough, but I will find a way through." Cognitive behavioral therapies or cognitive behavior techniques actually help challenging the negative thinking. So building resilience is a key to managing anxiety and regulating your emotions effectively. Resilience doesn't mean eliminating stress. It's about developing the ability to recover and adapt. And self-awareness plays a critical role in building resilience. So when we understand our triggers and emotional responses, we can better prepare ourselves to handle the challenges. Let's understand and let's talk about the resilience boosting behaviors. The first one is positive habits. Maintaining a balanced diet, consistent sleep schedule, and regular exercise. You can also practice the gratitude. Focusing on the positive aspects of life is important. Developing the support network is also crucial. Reaching out for friends, family, and support groups for help is important in building resilience. So, resilience isn't built overnight, but small, consistent actions can help develop stronger emotional foundations and healthier ways to face the challenges. Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode on anxiety and emotional regulation. Remember, anxiety is a challenge that many people face. But with the right tools, strategies, and support, it's possible to lead a balanced and fulfilling life. Remember, help is always available. Anxiety and substance use are closely linked. Addressing anxiety reduces reliance on substances. Effective strategies like mindfulness, CBT, and physical activity can help manage anxiety. Caregivers and educators play a crucial role in helping youth identify and address anxiety. So, building resilience and self-awareness promotes long-term emotion regulation. Feel free to reach out to us at the Awakening Rehab if you need any further support. Remember, together we can work toward creating stronger and healthier communities. Thank you so very much for today. Have a great day.